Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome to today's Power Half Hour Mastermind. We're going to be digging into the last official set of the AI Agent Lab series. Doesn't mean we're going to stop talking about AI because AI is here to stay, right? This is just part of that 12-part series that we promised you guys since December. And so today is really kind of just a wrap up, putting it all together. We're going to go back over some of the resources, do a little refresher of some of the stuff that we have already done for you guys that's in the Power Half Hour Masterminds folder, right? Just to make sure that these are able to stay top of mind. And if there's something that you feel like you missed, or you're like, "Ooh, I want that for my business," it'll be a good refresher to go find it. All right.
Yep,
All
I'm
right.
excited to go through our I mean it's been a lot of lessons. So
Right. Yeah, I mean, since the summer, 6 months worth of
yeah.
of content, right? And so, a couple things. So first, actually, I'm going to take it a step back in one of these directions. There we go. So in the community forum, right? So I always like to do this refresher because I know sometimes people get confused. I'm gonna take it one step back further. When you log in to the website, right? So make sure that you're logging into the realestateoperationsinstitute.com and then you're in the course library. Now, as an Ops Insider member, you're just gonna bypass whatever's underneath. Don't even worry about that, right? Like, don't worry about anything down there. And then just go to this members only Ops Insider community button, right? It's a little shortcut for you guys. So once you are there, now you are in the community. Welcome to our community, right? So if someone is not a member, they will get like a denied kind of window or 404 error or something like that, right? So for you guys, you can either kind of scroll through, right? All the different masterclass replays, the Power Half Hour masterminds that we just added towards the end of last year, right? And then a little feedback form if you needed to reach us, contact us, etc. Um, you also have the shortcuts over here on the left-hand side, right? For you're not going to see as much because I'm in admin login, right? So you're not going to see scheduled posts, obviously.
Mhm.
But you can go right to the Power Half Hour link here as well. And it'll take you to all of the different classes. Like you can see, it's been a lot that we've been doing since the very first one on December 3rd, right? And so you're going to look for the ones that say the AI Agent Lab, or it might just say AI Agent Lab, right? Something like that. So we have literally done, it started, right, with the AI Agent Lab class, that 1 hour, 90-minute class, I forget, free class that we did in December, where we kind of went through a big overview of all the things, right? So that would be under the master class replay. So if you've never watched that class, and maybe you're a newer member, kind of just digging into some of this, then make sure to go back and watch that class first, right? Then you want to come in and start watching some of these little mini lessons that we've done over the last several months. So we dig deeper basically into some of the concepts that we did in the class. So talking about the settings and AI assistant, for example, the client avatar and social media, Google AI Studio. So like there's different AI platforms, right? Like a lot of the beginning we talked about ChatGPT until, some stuff happened a couple months ago. I switched to Claude. So we started leaning more into Claude AI, but we also talked, a bit about Gemini and Google AI Studio, for example. We talked about TC and Ops workflows. So literally we like showed you how you can build out or start to build your SOPs, your standard operating procedures, like literally just using AI. And we gave you like prompts and things like that. Most of these have prompts that were provided or referenced in some way, right? The AI for visual marketing. So literally, how are you creating some of your images? What types of visual marketing are you doing? Not just the cute, like us with the big candy cane, candy shop type images, right? That was super popular back in December, for example. But literally, like, how are you using it for brand recognition? How are you using it in a way that helps you stand out in a good way, not necessarily just a cheesy AI kind of a way, right? Exporting Claude, like I said, with that whole ChatGPT migration, it's totally fine if you're still with ChatGPT. If you were like me and you wanted to switch over to Claude, then all the instructions are still right there for you, right? Enhancing lead generation through AI. So we actually even did one of our just free monthly masterminds earlier in October, I think, where we were talking about business planning. We had also talked about kind of doing your GPS using AI, right? So we brought that up again in this lesson, I remember. kind of reshared the prompt there. And then using it for your CRM and sphere management. So I remember with this one, we were showing you how Claude can actually go into your CRM and show, not show, but like while you're doing other work. So Claude Cowork, for example, can go, it can help uncover some leads, it can help clean up your database. You can just do some stuff in the background for you to help clean up your CRM. And then we had creating lead magnets. We did a little overview of Notebook LM. So that's another different type of AI platform that you can use, right? It's not as image savvy as like Chat or Gemini, and neither is Claude, right? But Notebook LM is great for almost like a researcher, right? If you upload content, you can upload books, you can upload like hour-long trainings on YouTube and then ask it to give you a summary, for example, spit that back out for you. It is good at creating, like you see, this was one of those Biopoly type things. It's good at creating certain types of graphics like that. Um, Infographics, I believe is the term, right? Then we went into
I
ManyChat.
forgot about all, like, not, I mean, literally
It's so
forgot.
much,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, exactly. Like there's so much that you can do, and you don't have to do all the things, but that's why we preface it at the beginning. Like, if there's something like, ooh, I could use that for my business, then go back and watch it, right? ManyChat is something that we don't use heavily, but we do use, right? Or now we use a similar version in Kajabi. So ManyChat is that kind of auto DM feature that you can set up, or auto comment feature, for example, that you can set up with your socials. And then we dug into Opus Clip. So this had to do with AI video editing. So I really like Opus Clip, and that's one that I still need to start using more for social media. And then a couple weeks ago, we dug into using custom GPT assistants, right? And just really digging into what does that mean. And so, again, wanted to really just highlight and recap all of these different trainings, not to mention, as you can see, all the ones in between, okay? Like there's some good content hosting a buyer seminar, crushing your goals, mindset and time management. Like there's a lot in here for you to just dig back to. Um, Anything that you want to add from this section, Carissa?
No, it is a lot, but the piece of advice I would give you is like, this is not to be done in one day. Like, if you do, you're going to be looking like, oh my God, what the heck did I just watch? So, and that's the reason we did it in a series. And I want to preface, I mean, I'm not preface it, but reiterate that because if you are just watching this today, good for you that you're watching this, but now put a plan together to go back and slowly watch these because the reason we did it over time is because we want you to not only know what to do, but implement it at some point in your business. And you can't just learn it all. I mean, you have to piece it up like in chapters. So I will say that because this is a lot. It is a lot.
Right. And I mean, and that's also why we did every other week, right? Every other lesson.
Mhm.
So we did, one a month, I think, for these, because of the fact that we didn't want it to be too overwhelming. You actually had time to just go back and implement, for example, some of the things that you're learning. And some of the other lessons also had some AI tips in them if it seemed relevant. Like I think the Successful Buyer Seminar one was one where we showed you how you could use AI to help build out your like your follow-up plan, right? Like your 8x8 or something like that, for example. So there's just a lot of good content in here. And then, so from here, you have like all the video lessons that you can go back and watch. So if you have a new like admin or VA, for example, and there's something that you really find relevant to them, then we're okay with you like sharing like a one-off video. Technically, this is like one person per membership, if you will. So if you do have someone that you've hired, then we encourage you to grab them a membership so that they can come to these live and just kind of be part of the community on their own, right? Um, so then there's the resource hub. So what we have done, like I said, a lot of these had different prompts and things like that. So you have the resource page. So this is the general access. And if you're an alumni access, meaning that you've taken the full Profitable Systems series course that we offer, right? Then your page will have a lot more content overall. But all of you guys have the same AI tools because we built that, right, as just an extra value add for the entire community. And so if you scroll down, just somewhere around here, custom AI prompts slash AI resources, you'll see all of these different things. And Let us know because we're not perfect. If you click on something and it doesn't like prompt correctly, most of these are either going to do an instant download or it might be like a worksheet that it'll like prompt you to make a copy of. So, for example, if you are still struggling with prompts, the prompt builder spreadsheet is still one of my most favorite things that I've ever built with the help of AI. Okay, I did not build this from scratch. And literally, it is something, right? Like when we talk about it, and it was from the original class that we did where you can put like what are you trying to do a prompt for? Like I'm trying to do a prompt for buyer marketing and blah 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 blah, right? And then it'll help spit out kind of the basis of the prompt that you can then put into whatever AI you're using to help you get the output, right? The design or the copy, et cetera, that you're looking to get from it. And then there's the actual AI Agent Lab prompt playbook. So really, this almost should be like first, right? Like start here. So this has some of your top initial prompts that we recommend. This was also provided originally in the main AI Agent Lab class, right? So the questions to help your AI get to know who you are. Do not skip this part. I don't care which platform you're using. Don't skip this. Once you do this once, then you can ask that AI, like if you put this into ChatGPT, then just ask ChatGPT to spit out like a summary, for example, that you can use moving forward to just copy and paste and then save that summary. Um, but highly recommend don't skip that, right? And then communication style, all these different things that we get into. And then there's actual, I think there was 10 different prompts. Like you could see lead gen ideas, prompt to help you write better client emails, a prompt to help you design your entire annual touch plan, and et cetera, right? So make sure that you grab your copy of the prompt playbook and then just save it to like your Google Drive. We dig into the ways to use the custom AI GPT assistants. So that's actually the one from a couple weeks ago because it was requested, right? When we did the live class. And so this is kind of a summary sheet, right? You see this, right, Carissa?
Yep.
The
No,
Canva. Okay.
yeah, the just the custom GPT assistance, that summary where it's just going over, yeah.
Exactly. Perfect. Okay. So this kind of just gives you the highlight of the different ways, like if you want it to do copywriting, if you want like CRM support, etc. So if you're like, I want to do AI, but I don't know what the hell to do with it, then start here and use this as a way to help prompt your mind. Like, okay, I feel like I could definitely use some better help with social media. So what kind of things could I use AI for? Well, it can create your content calendar. It can help you batch captions. It can help you with your Instagram bio, improving your hooks, et cetera, right? Um, and then, so literally the different prompts for like the lead gen idea. So this was the one that came from the GPS class that we did. A prompt to help you create your entire 135 GPS, right? Different tone prompts to help with your AI's public personality, the prompt for the 8x8 buyer seminar follow-up campaign. So we didn't just show you and we didn't just explain it. We actually gave you the prompt so that you can then go R&D, right? And then the prompt for the TC and ops workflows, prompt for doing virtually staged photos, right? So that one I think maybe was actually from one of the earlier classes that we did with one of our other members who helped talk about listing photos and things like that. I think that's when that prompt came into being. And then CRM prompts to help re-engage and help organize your database. And then the ManyChat guides. So if you remember when we talked about ManyChat, Lauren Lucas had actually shared a guide that she created when she was doing her whole Claude training a couple months ago. And so rather than just, going from scratch, like we just R&D'd that one since she had shared it for free during a free class. So hence we give her credit for that as well. And that's really kind of all the big resources.
It's a lot. That's a lot.
It is. It is. It's
Yeah.
definitely a lot.
So it is definitely one of these things that if you say, I don't know AI or I don't know where to start with AI, here it is. This is where you should be going if you haven't. If you have joined us or watched any, good for you. The next step would be to, in between these things, I know I just said it earlier, but Josie made a good point. Like the reason we did it every other week is because we want you to implement it. So when you're going through the lesson, and truth be told, not everything is going to correlate to your business. And you're going to be like, oh, I will never use this. So if that's the case, then you just move on to the next. But utilize your time blocking and your planning and your calendar to start putting this stuff into your business because it's not going away. Josie said it just a little while ago, like just because we're not teaching the series consistently anymore doesn't mean AI is going away. And also doesn't mean that we aren't going to occasionally teach something on AI. So definitely lean into it. AI is not here to replace you, but it is to help supplement some of the things that either A would cost you time or money or both. So be purposeful when putting this together because there's so many agents out there that just act like they don't know they know what AI is, but they use AI, I always say as Google, right? You have Google for Google. Use your AI as a level up, like an assistant, because that's really funny is that's how this started when Josie and I were talking about like assistant. We were talking about putting together an assistant training, and we were like, well, let's start here because not everybody can afford an assistant, but anybody can afford to learn how to build an assistant. So,
Right. That is so true. Yeah. And then the whole AI thing came about, I think it was in the fall because we did
mhm.
that one class with one of our members who was talking about using AI for like listing enhancements and things like that. And then, it was something that just kept being brought up and talked about. And we were like, you know what, why don't we just do our own little AI series, right? Just for you guys and help help you figure out like how can you actually be using this in your business. So
Yep.
for me, some of the recent things that I have done that I'm super proud of, right, with AI, and then Krista would love to hear some ways that you might be using it or some of your agents might be using it at Real, for example. So like I think I mentioned this last time, like I built an entire transaction checklist, right? So something that's been on my to-do list, something I haven't had time to leverage necessarily because I am now the TC for our team, right? Like we used to have a virtual TC, and if we did, I would have probably leveraged it to that person, but it's one of those things where it's just been on my mind. We have checklists built out in Brivity and all of that, our CRM, and yet partly also for my coaching clients, like for other people who don't have access to something like that, for example, right? Actually, I think that was something that you guys benefited from because I'm pretty sure I uploaded that into the resource hub as
Mhm.
well, now that I'm thinking about it. Um, Literally, and if not, then did I? Maybe I did not. I will add that into the resource hub because literally just something I built out that we're super excited about. And then even Google Forms. Like the catch is that, we say it all the time. If you can think it, AI can probably do it. Not 100% can it do everything, obviously. It certainly can't go grab me a Starbucks coffee that I would love one right now. I'd love an iced coffee because it's really hot today. But, it can do like it can either tell you how far it can go or it can go further than you think it might, right? So I wasn't 100% sure if it could create a Google form from scratch. And I asked it, this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to build, like, can you do that? Can you just go in the background? So for Claude Cowork, for example, and create a Google form, for example. And then there's other stuff that I've asked it. It's like, well, I can't do that, but I could do this for you, right? And then is it going to save me time or is it sometimes actually going to add more time to my plate than if I just stop and do it myself, right? So like the Google form, the spreadsheet, like the transaction checklist, for example. Um, I use it all the time, like I say, for my copywriter. So with social media posts, then I have different project folders, right? Or different gems, like depending on which, program that you're using, different threads. I like the term threads. So a little conversation. So I have my Valerie King Team socials, our real estate ops socials, and my A Leverage Life socials. So depending on what I need to ask it for, I'm popping into the different social media thread or like conversation, room, whatever you want to call it, to ask it, hey, um, can you help me do like an under contract post for blah blah blah? Or the other day, like we posted, I don't remember what it was on our Troy socials. So we posted something. And so usually I will have somewhat of a context, but I may not always just have the words. I may be running, rushing around. And then the catch is that I do always proof and tweak. I don't just copy, paste, and post, right? Because that is when you start to sound authentic. But if it can help, and the more that I do that, that it starts to sound like me, sometimes it nails it. on the first try. And most of the time I have to do some edits. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's a little. If it's a lot, I'll usually like reprimand it slightly to be like, what is this? And then I'll put like the final caption, for example. But literally talk to your AI. Treat it like an assistant, bless you. Treat it like a friend. Um, but reprimand it if you need to. Just be nice to it because
Yeah, we don't.
iRobot is a real movie, just saying.
I was just gonna say we don't need them coming for you.
Exactly.
But I am leaning into it way more, and it's actually on my list. We were talking to one of our members the other day that I am actually going to connect it to my work email to help to start sorting and prioritizing for me, not deleting, not answering, not doing any of that, but just helping that because I think my mornings are so important to me and how I start them off. And I think in doing that is going to set me up for even the next level of success, right? Because when we all open our emails and it's chaos, right? Between all of the emails that are just junk and then trying to find the important ones in there and sort it takes minutes. I'm not saying hours, but it takes minutes to just to kind of get your bearings together. So I am going to be leaning into that. But currently, like one of the things that I do that's so basic, and a lot of the stuff I do is basic, and I'm not even like ashamed. I'm not shameful for saying that because you have to start somewhere, right? And so one of the things that I love is like Josie and I are business partners. We do this, but we aren't in the same room together all the time, right? So having photo opportunities is not necessarily something that we have at
Right.
our fingertips. However, we do have photos together. So I just recently, like, I mean, we do it all the time, but recently used the same photo and like we're holding up different signs. And I was like, oh, that's such a good, like, we can put different clothes on each other. Like, it's almost like just dress up and you can keep the integrity. Because I know for a while, some of these AIs were making us look like not even close to what we looked like, right? Like, we had like third arms and, missing teeth, or you get it, what I'm
Right.
saying.
Or 50
Um,
pounds heavier or lighter than what we really
yes.
look like. I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all the things.
Um,
Yeah.
so it has helped a lot in number one, saving money for photo shoots, right? So we're using photos that we already have had with each other that when we did get together. And even when we weren't together, I've taken photos that, oh, this is a really good photo of Josie and this is a good photo of me. That's something that years ago, like not even years, like maybe a year or two ago, not like way years ago, we would have to pay a lot of money to get that done, right? Like you would have to pay somebody to go in and do that on Photoshop or um, actually pay for a photo shoot, right? And so in some of our marketing material, that's been super helpful. The other thing that's helped me on the brokerage side is using it as a tool to help explain our forms. So every state has their state generated forms for real estate, right? And so ours are called GAR forms, Georgia Association of Realtor. And they are very basic in the aspect that they're filling the blanks, but you have new agents that have never even just filled in a blank. Yes, they've taken the class, but we all know the class doesn't teach you what's tactical. It teaches you to stay out of jail. So what I've been doing is loading those forms into AI, asking for, like, specifically asking for it to break this down in a way that a fifth grader could understand it, right? And so it has given me these summaries that now I have been able to include with the form on our internal site for our agents. That's something would have taken me, we have over 300 forms. That would have taken me forever to do. But instead, I uploaded my complete form package and gave it one prompt and it spit out all. Now, mind you, I have to go and check them because AI isn't always on point, but me proofreading it quickly to make sure that it is explaining the form correctly within 2 to 3 sentences is a lot easier than me doing that, then uploading it. You get what I'm saying? So utilizing it not only for that, but also like it is your assistant. so bounce things off of it. Like I have agents that use it as a like they will upload their offers in there and have a and again, you have to know what you're doing. You cannot be a brand new agent and say, is this a good offer? Right? But after you're done filling out their form, they're filling it out, putting it into AI, and AI is saying, "Oh, you missed this spot." Or you put this here, this could make a stronger offer. Like but again, that is the information that AI is giving you is based upon a history of something. So
Right.
make sure your prompt knows you, knows your market, knows what's going on, plug it in. And that might be something that you do a custom GPT for or whatever that is for you. Um, and understand that it is AI, so you absolutely have to check it. So if you're putting in an offer on, because when my agent told me that, I was like, oh my God, please do not tell everybody to do this because we are going to have agents using, AI to,
To run
if
their
you,
comps.
right.
Might as well
But
use Zillow to run your comps at that point.
that's what I'm saying. And so it's really that's why I always say I mean we say it all the time that it's not here to replace you, but it's here to help. So one of my struggles when I left the team was not having a sounding board, right? And the sounding board just being like sometimes you just need someone to be like, you know what you're doing, right? Because you know what you're doing. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's just that. And if you can lean into your AI, whether that's chat, whether that ChatGPT, whether it's Claude, whether it's Gemini, maybe it's all of them, you have to give it the right information because the one thing that is true about all AI is it's going to answer you regardless. Whether that answer is what you're looking for is a different story. So make sure you are trusting but verifying it, just like an assistant, because we say the same thing. I'm trying to look for my water. We say the same thing with assistants is like when you have an assistant, you have to trust and verify. So you trust that they're doing the job that they're supposed to be doing at the highest level, but it's your job as their leader slash boss to ensure that they're doing it accurately. And just correct when it's not. And that's what I did. Listen, you got this wrong. I need you to pull from here and here. You're pulling from I don't even know where. And so just realign and refocus and just start using it. That's all I'm going to say is just start using it because
Mhm.
the possibilities are endless. And I actually used it when we went to, and this is not even business wise, like I used it when we went to St. Augustine like about a month or two ago. I've never been to St. Augustine. So I went into my AI, I was like, hey, you know me. I'm in St. Augustine. Help me plan a perfect day. It planned the perfect day for me. When I tell you it nailed it. It was like, oh, I know you like trendy, but I know you don't like crowds. So there's this spot that's a little bit off the beaten path, but they make wonderful craft cocktails and from scratch, from farm to table or something, like whatever it was. And it was like their menu changes all the time because it knows that I obviously am very eclectic in my taste. Like I
Right.
am the one
And your
who is willing.
husband's health conscious, or since
Yes.
he's been on his health journey, so the farm to table, love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I would give him a 9 out of 10 for all of the suggestions. I mean, it packed my day and I was like, there's no way ever somebody can do all of this, but I appreciate the effort. So I'm not even saying like we are obviously business focused, but Josie and I are both are about that vacation life and work-life
Mhm.
balance at the highest. And so don't skimp on that either. Figure out how you can fit it into your personal needs because that is leverage as well, right?
Yeah, that's funny that you said that. I was one of the things I was going to bring up too, was just using it on a personal level, right? If you're not comfortable maybe like on how to fully use it in your business, then just start to use it, right? Like I have a trip planning one. So funny that you said that. I literally have a trip planning, like I have a random, I might have even kind of pulled it up, random project folder in Claude, which is kind of my personal stuff that I don't necessarily like, it's not business related or whatever. So like one of them is health stuff, and then one of them is literally trips because y'all know, most of y'all know I go on a lot of trips. And so anytime I go in there, it's giving me back that energy. Like, listen, we trip planning. So like what we doing? Like what we da 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 da. So literally just use it for personal things, and to help you get more comfortable with speaking to it, helping it get to understand your personality, things like that. And
Mhm.
then also when you said about like writing offers. So I don't think it was within one of the masterminds. I think it was in the Facebook group. I did a live video a few weeks ago about MRA podcast episode I listened to, Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast episode, where the person who I forget his name, agent, was talking about how he, not with AI, but how he helps negotiate his offers and how when he submits the offers, his kind of offer letter to the listing agent is very detailed, and it incorporates like, specific things about the home. One of the
Mhm.
examples was there was a little tombstone in the backyard for some pets or something like that. So in the offer letter, the buyers wanted to make sure to emphasize, oh, we noticed the tombstone. So just so you know, we have two dogs also, so we will never touch those. Like it'll never be disturbed for as long as we own the house. Like, do you think that won them the offer? It absolutely won them the offer. So like use AI even to help you with things like that. If you feel like you need to be more creative, or if you're trying to appeal to X, Y, or Z, right? If you're trying to pull
Right.
it back, I've used it to help me when I've needed to write some like terse emails about like poor customer service or something like that, where I'm like, I'm about to go off, so I need you to help me dial it back. And like,
Yeah,
this is what I want to write. And then it's like, well, let's just take out this paragraph, like where,
right.
so all of those kinds of things are applicable as well. And like we said, it's just using it in whatever best ways you can use it. So,
Yeah, and just to add on to what you were saying about like the offer letter. So sometimes, I'm not going to say sometimes, all the time in our business, we have to get very crafty and think outside the box in how we're going to problem solve through this. Um, example, you may have a buyer has no money, right? Maybe he has good credit. Maybe he has the potential to put a couple of dollars away over the next couple of months. You can use your AI to help brainstorm that solution for you in proposing the best type of situation for that buyer, right? So if you put the information in and you just need someone to think outside the box with you, like I was saying, the sounding board for the team, like when you don't have a room full of people that are in the business with you to kind of be like, "Oh, girl, I've done that before and this is what," put it in there. And or with the prompts, we talk about prompts all the time. Figure out who like a top tier negotiator is, like nationally known, whatever it is. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Or you can just put a prompt in there and be like, can you be a master negotiator, like a hostage type, where you're thinking outside the box and how to get into someone's mental, whatever you want to prompt it to do, and say, I'm going against four offers. This is the house. And like Josie said, upload pictures. This is the information about my buyer. This is what I know about the seller. Can you help me to figure out how I get in their head to make them pick our offer? Like dig deep and use this as like almost a coach slash assistant slash therapist slash anything you need
all the
it to be,
things.
travel agent slash anything. That's what we're
Mhm.
trying to say is it's like there is really nothing that you can't do. It's just a matter of knowing enough about what you're doing to verify whether it's something worth putting out there or not.
Mhm. Disclaimer. Never Split the Difference is a wonderful book by Chris Voss. He was the FBI hostage negotiator that she's referencing. So if you're asking your AI to help you think like a hostage negotiator, just reference Chris Voss in that book
Yep.
so that it gets it accurate because it is about like business, even though he is like a former like FBI agent or director or whatever
Yeah,
talking about that. So put that out there. But yeah,
exactly.
I mean, hopefully this helped to do the recap. Again, if you are watching this for the first time or you're just like just trying to crawl your way into starting to use I do recommend go back and watch the AI Agent Lab class. The first big class that we did, right, which is going to be under your master class replays. When I'm saying big, like it was one of the main, like, hour long open to the public type classes. So you're literally going to go right here to this one and watch now. Then from there, like take your time to go through some of the resources. That class will probably help give you an idea of where you would even want to start, right? From there, right? And then really, like we always recommend, just like the prompt playbook said, start here with those 21 questions, those getting to know you questions. If you're a little bit more advanced than that, then that's where this slide can come in handy and decide like where am I using AI already effectively and where could I maybe do better, right? To help leverage stuff off of my plate. Maybe it's ideas, like for me, the transaction checklist, things that you've been wanting to do but just haven't had the time to do it, right? Um, or maybe it's just email templates, whatever that might look like, and then use it to just help with some of that stuff. So hopefully that gives you guys some directions of where to get started or where to continue if you've already started. And if you're using it at just a crazy high level, then we want to hear about that too. If there's anything we haven't touched on that you want to do a mastermind around, like just reply when we send out the email for the class, or just email us at any point and just let us know if it's something that you want to show or something that you want us to kind of dig into. And if it's within our purview, then we're happy to do it.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us on this journey. And I hope you've taken something away from it because I know I have. Um, Anytime we teach something, we're learning it with you. Like even if we know about it,
Literally.
we're learning it even deeper. So thank you for being on the journey with us.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Have a great day, guys. And then we will see you next week for the next Power Half Hour Mastermind.
Bye.